Hello, everyone. Good evening, and welcome to your Sunday Tonic conversation with the Love Crusader. Yeah, it's our last Sunday of the month, and it's usually our Q&A Sunday. But before then, let's tell you about us briefly. If you're coming across this platform for the first time, it is called Conversation with the Love Crusader. It's a platform where we talk about love, we talk about life, we talk about relationship, and we try to have fun. We're talking about all this serious stuff. I am the Love Crusader. That's what they call me. And I'm your host. And I have with me today Titi, my co-host, my usual regular co-host. Say hello.
Hi guys.
All right, you can find us on YouTube at Men Fences TV, on Facebook at Men Fences, on Instagram, Men Fences _ love, TikTok, Men Fences _ love. We are all about love. And as we would always say, sharing this video is a good service to your friend, to your brothers, to your relatives, because one thing they learn here can help their relationship. Okay, so all of the month of October, we were talking about relationship killers. And we've had a very, very interesting and insightful session with Reverend Steve and Pastor Mary, and then with ourselves last week, Titi and Emmanuel, our other co host, who is not here today. We miss him. But who knows? Miracles still happen. He could show up somewhere in the middle of the show. Okay. And one question was left unanswered from our show last week. We promised that we were going to deal with that question today. And that is what we're going to deal with. If we have time, we'll deal with other questions. But this particular question seems to have lots of branches to it. And we would like to really deal with it as much as possible. If you were watching last week, you will know the question that we were talking about. So, someone made an assertion and an accusation against the women of the universe.
Was it an accusation? Maybe he was just talking from his experience.
I put it to you that he accused all women globally. I'm just joking. But the question was, what do you do with a spouse that does not apologize or that does
A
not say
woman.
sorry? And he specifically said a woman. How do you handle a woman that does not apologize, that does not say sorry? I think this is a serious matter as far as he's concerned. And it could be that this is a relationship killer for him. And so we decided to delve into apologies in relationship. Is it necessary? Is it important? If it is, why? Of what use is an apology? Why do we have to say sorry? And what does an apology really mean? What does sorry really mean in a relationship? When someone says sorry or I am sorry, what does it mean? And maybe we'll also talk about types of apologies, because I just found out that there are ways that you can say I'm sorry without saying the word I'm sorry. And let's see whether we can come to a conclusion about which is acceptable. Titi, are we ready?
We're ready. Let's
Let's
go. Let's
go.
go. Let's
First
go.
of all, why is apology necessary? Why should someone even say I'm sorry?
Hmm. I would want to think that the reason is obvious. Because we have all been in that place where we wanted some form of apology or the other. Whether we got it or not is another issue, but
Hmm.
if you have been in that place, you know the importance, you know what it would do for you at least. Why we say forgiveness is for you and not tied to whether the person apologizes or not. You know that when the person says sorry, it kind of lubricates the journey of forgiveness. It sort of makes it easier. um I think sorry is like that magic word. When you say please, you know it kind of just melts everything, or begins to melt everything. It is the beginning of a process, depending on the gravity of the situation we're talking about. So when you say sorry, generally, it starts to soften the heart of the other person. That is if it is genuine. So just think about it. That word sorry, or I'm sorry, all the things that you had planned to say, or to articulate and download, you now start saying, but you too, why did you do this now? You know, so it kind of softens the ground, or that is what it's supposed to do. So from that standpoint, sorry is a powerful word in any relationship. It is a key word in any relationship that shouldn't be used anyhow. Because you can in your relationship, you can rubbish your sorry such that
Mm,
no longer of any value. So sorry is important.
mm. I like the fact that you say it's like a lubricant.
Mm-hmm.
You know, um,
Yeah.
some people will say things like, uh, "Does it make it right? What will I do with your sorry? Does sorry take away the pain?" People ask lots of questions like that, like, you know, and I think also depending on the gravity of the offense,
Hmm.
I don't know whether as a person sorry is enough. What do you think? Is sorry enough? Is it enough to say I'm sorry? And there's something else you mentioned when you're saying talking about, is it genuine? So how do you know if
Hmm.
sorry is genuine? That's another thing. How do we
Yeah.
know whether this is a genuine sorry?
We began this discussion the last time when we were talking, and I remember saying that sorry is not enough. Like, for me, I think sorry that's why I said it is the beginning of a process. You know, Again, I'm looking at it widely, as in maybe big offense, and there are different types of big offense, but I'm looking at it from the point of big offense. You know, so you've hurt somebody, and sorry is the beginning of the process. So when you say I'm sorry, it does not automatically change everything. Sometimes people say, just say you are sorry to keep the peace, you
Uh-huh.
know, or
Uh-huh.
say just say you are sorry at least to calm the situation down.
Uh-huh.
So saying I'm sorry does not mean you know what it is. You know how badly you've hurt the other person.
Uh-huh.
Saying I'm sorry does not make you totally aware of. Okay, it should make you aware of that you've done something wrong, yeah, but it may not make you aware of the gravity of what you've done.
Uh-huh.
So that's why I said it's the beginning of a process. You say I'm sorry, then you open up a communication channel to
Uh-huh.
begin to understand what it is that, or how bad it is that what you're saying sorry for is, you know.
Uh-huh.
So I think that sorry, just saying sorry is not enough. You need to understand how, why did the thing even hurt you this much, you know and why is it so meaningful for you? Why is the hurt so deep for you like this? Because if you don't understand things like that, then chances are that the situation will repeat itself again, probably in another form, but that something similar will repeat itself again, and that pattern continues. And then now you find yourself in a situation where sorry does not really carry any much weight. So sorry is the beginning. After sorry, I've come to realize that after sorry, if you don't go a step further, chances are that you come back to that same spot where you are and continue from that place.
Mm,
Or if you are the stubborn type, you keep coming back to that same spot until you get it. You
mm,
know,
mm.
that's the,
I
that's the
totally
thing.
agree with you because I've seen that in a lot of relationship and couples complaining about the fact that you know their partner or spouse is always saying sorry and still repeating the same offense. So I think yeah, what you're saying now really makes sense. Is because for them they think sorry is the end of
And
it
yeah.
when actually the beginning. I like that. Sorry is the beginning.
Mm.
Yeah, and I think we really talked about healing processes and how it's different for everyone.
Yeah, I remember Emmanuel's analogy. I remember.
Okay. Why then? All right. So, but sorry in itself is not bad.
It's not bad.
You've said it's a lubricant. I agree totally. Um, to an extent, it makes it easy to go forward if there's an apology. It makes it easy to think of healing and makes even forgiveness easier, despite that we're saying don't wait until the person apologize before you forgive, but it just makes it easier to actually forgive someone who is sorry than
Hmm.
someone who's not shown any remorse at all.
Yeah.
Then why is it difficult? Why do you think it is difficult for people to say sorry, like our questionnaire was saying? Women, first of all, is it really true that it's women that are finding it difficult to say sorry? Sisters, where are you people? Come here, come and defend yourself. I want to know. Do you say sorry? Do women say sorry? Do women not say sorry? Oh yeah, Sister
Hmm.
Titi, on behalf of the women folks,
I'm speaking, yes, on behalf of all the women folks, I'm speaking today.
speak and forever hold your peace.
I don't know. I don't know whether it's a problem that is peculiar to women. I think sometimes it is hard to say. And this thing is all about depth of understanding, really. Sometimes it is hard. It may be hard to say sorry. Just like we are saying, sorry is the beginning. It does not mean that you understand the gravity of what you've done. That's why it's hard to say it, because you have to say it. It doesn't mean that you get it yet. You don't get it. Sometimes you just say the sorry because you want to know, you want to understand, you want to get it, right? So that's why it is difficult, because I'm I'm saying sorry. People say sorry most of the time from a place of faith. By faith, you just say the sorry because I don't understand what I've done. I don't understand how badly I've hurt you. Even when I understand that I've hurt you, I don't understand the gravity. I don't understand why it's so big a thing for you like that. But I've just said sorry. So sometimes, considering that lack of understanding, you're like, what is it, Seth? You're
Mhm.
like, why do I have to say this thing? So that's why it's a bit hard for people. Again, from the same background, sometimes you say sorry to keep the peace, you say sorry just to let things go. Again, after a while you tell yourself, I beg. So that's the hard part, you know
Mm.
so
If I understand you well, Nipato, according to what my friend. What you are saying is that this person does not even understand that they've offended you.
may not understand.
Okay, may not understand why
Mhm.
you are offended or why you
Yeah.
feel offended in the first place. But if you are not the offender, can you really, really get to understand the offendee?
If you're not the offender, that's you're not the
No,
one
no,
that
that is it really possible for you as an offender to get to understand the offendee? Because how will I say it? Your feelings are in different places right now.
Mhm.
Um, maybe as if, as an offender, you're even still standing on your right as per what you've done. And if you are asked, you would even be, will I say, you are able to defend and justify your action. So how do you? Maybe I'm asking a psychological question here. I don't even understand how to put the question myself. How do you put yourself in the shoes of that person to not be able to understand the hurt?
That's what I'm saying. That these things, it depends on depth of understanding. Sometimes we don't know everything. We just know that particular principle that says sorry softens the ground. It is a lubricant. So you just go ahead and say the sorry. You don't have to feel the way the other person is feeling.
Hmm.
We've all been in situations where people hurt us, even if you are as the offender. You've been in a situation where you were the offended, and you know how bad you felt. It doesn't matter whether it's a tiny pain or it is a big pain. That's not the issue. All you need to remember is how bad you felt when you were offended, and understand from that standpoint, and go ahead and apologize. You know, so you can't wait to feel all the feelings. Of course, you won't expect that your spouse or your partner would offend you in the same manner before you can now feel it. How it's no, you just need to understand that people get hurt, and you need to value people's hurts, because most times, when it comes to relationships, one partner does not value the other person's hurt. That's when you hear things like, "Is it because of that small thing?" Or I've been begging you since, I've been begging you since, and you're still since, you know, because over time you begin to become familiar with the other person's hurt. Meanwhile, if it's some other person, or maybe probably an outsider, you could apologize a million times and say, maybe it's your boss at work, I'm so sorry, ma. I'm so sorry,
Eh,
sir. It will
eh,
happen again, you know. So you've started devaluing the hurt of your partner, of your spouse. You feel like, is it not them? What's the big deal? I've said sorry, you know. So that's one of the challenges. You feel like this thing is not big enough to hurt this person in this manner. But unfortunately, you're not the judge of that. They've been hurt by whatever it is that you think is not big enough, so although there's that part where people kind of like maybe hype things, or people are a bit
exaggerate.
exaggerate, yes. Yeah, or they're a bit emotional, and it
Overly
happens
emotional,
with women a lot.
too sensitive.
Too
I'm trying
sensitive.
to use the words that men use
Yeah,
or
yeah.
people use. Let me stand and defend men today.
Yeah, so sometimes women can be at that place where they are kind of too sensitive, and you might need to like call yourself to order and say, hey, it's not that bad, it's not that deep, get yourself together sometimes. But again, that doesn't take away the fact that this person is hurt in this manner, you know so it's just and we need to understand these things. We need to learn these things. I think I stand to be corrected, but there are very few persons that come to this understanding immediately, or maybe it's follow come. You know what I mean?
That's
Like
what I
they
was,
just know these things.
that's what I was going to say now, because I think upbringing is part of it.
Yeah,
because I'm going to
And
confess.
most of us lack that upbringing. Most of
I'm
us
going to
don't have.
confess that I was one person who had challenges with apology and apologizing. And I think my dad noted it much earlier when I was much younger. And he says my tendency is to explain,
Justify.
explain, because I kind of see myself as a very rational person to an extent. That's why I thought I'm a woman, and they say women, we react from an emotional place, and all of that. To an extent, I kind of feel like I rationalize things, and so when I take an action, I want to stand by it. I want to stand by my action and say, yes, I did it, and this is why I did it. So he started teaching me to say, I'm sorry my action made you feel this way.
That's it.
That's the apology. Even if I have an explanation for it, like you just said, there's no better word. Throw in the lubricant. Let
Hmm.
that first douse the fire. Then bring in your explanation if you feel there's still a need or a reason, why you want to justify what you've said or what you've done. But to just always be unapologetic, for me, I think there's pride. And yeah, pride. I'm talking about me as a person. I think one of the reasons why it was hard for me is because I was very prideful. I hope I've repented now. I hope I've repented now, but there's that element of pride, and there's also the not wanting to be ashamed, not wanting to be shamed. So this is another part of it that we need to talk about with saying sorry.
Hmm.
And this time now, I'm going to stand in the place of a woman because I think men do this more. I stand to be corrected. If somebody apologizes to you, be gracious enough to accept the apology without ridiculing them, without
Hmm.
shaming them. No, you don't know, like, I think you're the one still coming to beg now. Finally, who is begging now? After all your when you give the person that kind of attitude, the tendency is you become over judgmental, and then tomorrow this person don't want to apologize. They don't want to be ridiculed again. And of course, there will still be an offense tomorrow. It might not be the same one.
Yeah.
I mean, marriage is a bundle of offense, a
Keep
package
evolving.
of offenses. I don't know whether, well, some people have very perfect marriage. In my own,
Hmm.
every day,
Hmm.
almost every day, there must be one offense. And if you don't throw away the one of yesterday, how are you going to deal with the one of today? You see, don't when somebody has humbled themselves, and this is, you know, what I would say. If somebody has humbled themselves to apologize, um, then don't make it hard for them.
The-
Why you
There's
laughing? It looks like I'm
you,
inviting you. You talk your own.
when you
You are
said
going to tell me
when
why.
you said the part of when someone has humbled themselves, what
Yeah,
came to my mind is humble themselves in their own eyes. And
yeah,
what in their own eyes? Because what made me think that is the fact that when you said some people apologize without saying sorry.
yeah. We're
So
going to get there
sometimes you think you've humbled yourself in your own eyes.
by your own
In your
standard.
own eyes.
Yes,
So
now,
that's
by your
another
own
thing.
standard. But then that apology, I think we've already said that from the beginning. It has to be sincere.
Hmm.
And I think right now, if you're a regular on this show, you will know that I always say that one thing I hate most is apology without change. I've seen the quote somewhere. I didn't. It's not my quote, but I really love the quote when he says, "Apology without change is manipulation." So if you don't mean it, don't apologize. I think I would rather not get an apology than get a fake one. What do you think?
but my mind just keeps going back to that apologizing and not saying it, because in your own eyes you're humble. In your own eyes you think you are saying sorry, but the other person is not getting it. It's not, they've not even picked it that that is your sorry. They are still waiting for the sorry to happen,
Yeah.
so how do we manage that part? Because truth be told, sometimes you may not say sorry all the time, you may not say it with your mouth, you know. So how do you now manage that expectation, or that aspect of
Okay,
always expecting sorry to be
I'm going to
said?
throw a question back to you, Titi, first before we continue. To you and to everyone who's watching, is it in every situation that apology has to be verbal?
Hmm. Well, I think it's based on preference. I think it's based on preference, and you need to understand the kind of person you are dealing with. For some people, you don't need to come and start saying sorry, sorry, sorry. You just need to change. They don't even want you to say sorry. Don't even say sorry. Just jump, skip the sorry. Go ahead and change. Go ahead
Mm-hmm,
and do better next time, and they're
mm-hmm,
okay.
mm-hmm,
You know. So
mm-hmm.
for some others, it depends on the stage you're in your relationship. Really, for some others, they really want you to spell it out and say. That's why I'm asking. How do you? Because sometimes at some point you will have a mixture of both at some phase of your marriage relationship. So how do you manage that expectation? I think you just need to understand the kind of person you're dealing with, and the other person needs to understand you too, because you have to compromise at some point. If you're the kind of person that does not say sorry all the time, that just goes straight to action, and you know you're married to someone who wants you to say that sorry, there are different ways to handle it. Reduce the things that will make you say sorry. Don't do those things. And if you find yourself doing those things, then be ready to compromise to say sorry at some point, you know, then take it up from there. So
Somebody say, if you offend someone, it's necessary to verbally apologize. Say it. Don't play tricks about it. I don't think it's actually about tricks, you know. Um,
I think it's tricks. I
you
think
think
it's
they're
all.
playing
I
games?
think it's everything we've said. I think it's a. I think it's a. Is a is a meal. A little bit spray of tricks, spray of pride, spray of what else is all those things we've mentioned.
Sometimes it
So
can also be ignorance. You know,
hmm,
like I was saying now. No, honestly, let's look at it this
ignorance or
way.
upbringing.
No, ignorance of the power of the word sorry.
I think we all know the power of this word.
No, don't assume. Don't
Really.
assume. Oh.
Hmm.
Don't assume. I think many people don't. They underestimate it. They underestimate the value of saying sorry to someone. Or not, that is genuinely say, I'm sorry I made you feel this way. It's not a matter of, and I keep repeating this sentence. It's not a matter of I'm sorry. I'm sorry because you're crying. I'm sorry because you're carrying your face. I'm sorry, let's just continue. I'm sorry so that the matter will die. It's a matter of I'm sorry that I have hurt your feeling. Whether it's intentional, whether it's unintentional, which is the room for the explanation
Hmm.
maybe later. If it's unintentional, you get the opportunity to now begin to explain later, right? But
That's
then if you want to apologize, let it be sincere. Let it come from a place of I've hurt you, even if I didn't have hurt you. But just because I see you're hurt, you're sad, you're crying, or whatever way that the person has expressed this hurt, then I'm sorry. because this is a person you love, this is a person you love or you claim to love.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And in the love relationship, our goal is to make each other happy. Our goal is to, you know, be happy always. It's not to hurt the other person. That's why that we know that, you know, hurts will come because we are human. We'll definitely offend each other. Offenses will come. But so if your partner communicates, okay, now that opens another question in my head. But okay, let me finish statement, then we'll talk about that. Titi. If your partner communicates their hurt, then it behoves on you, male or female, brother or sister,
Mm-hmm.
behoves on you to apologize and try to make it better. Try to restore the relationship back to, the place where it was. What came to my head as a question as I was making that statement is, do you think maybe some people not saying sorry is a function of how hurt is communicated?
Say that again, please.
Do you think some people's inability to say sorry is a function of how the hurt is communicated? Give you an example. Let
I
me give
think
you an
some people's inability to say sorry is a dysfunction.
Okay, wait. Let me give you an example, Titi. God forbid a woman um has cheated on her husband, okay? And then she's whether she was caught or she's confessed or whatever. The husband goes ahead to beat her up. In the course of this, his action or his reaction to her offense is wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Should she still apologize to him for what she did?
Mm-hmm.
One, will he also apologize for what he did? Two, how will that apology work? That's what I'm asking. Because sometimes the way you communicate your offense, like you're offended, and again, I think for me, this is another challenge I have. I'm confessing today. Oh. So, um, you come to me, for example, and you're shouting at me, you want to make me know that I've offended you, and then you're shouting at me and you're raising your voice. Chances are I am sorry might not come out of my mouth at that point. I'm going to become defensive automatically. I'm just going to want to defend myself at that point. So I think, and I mean, you can disagree with me, but I'm just trying to paint a picture here. I think sometimes the way we also communicate the hurt when we are hurt matters. Does it give room for reconciliation? Do you communicate the hurt in a way that gives room for an apology, or you communicate the hurt in a way that hurts the person?
You- I think I think I think this is what I'm going to say, that um irrespective of how the person has communicated the hurt,
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't take away the fact that you hurt somebody. So, like the situation of the woman that cheated on her husband and everything, and the husband beating, that it is not her um that his reaction is not her responsibility. So he has to own his actions. You know, you can nothing justifies you beating your wife, or nothing justify. Okay, you say, I've been so hungry. You now went about stealing. You now say nothing justifies wrong. Two
Mm-hmm.
wrongs don't make it right. So
Exactly.
nothing justifies that. So the other wrong person, because both are wrong now, has to own their own wrong actions. It doesn't take away from the fact that this person has
The
hurt
first
the other
offender
person.
too
Just like
is
we were saying earlier on, you apologize from a place. That's why I say this thing is not is not imputed on anybody. We learn these things.
Mm-hmm.
So just like you're saying that I apologize that my actions has hurt you. That's the standpoint of apology. I apologize that this has hurt you. You know. So I apologize that this has caused so much pain for you, right? So that is the standpoint that the wife will be apologizing for. I apologize that this I have done wrong. Yes, he has beat you. That's another wrong, but it doesn't take away that wrong that you have done.
The
And
first one.
at the place of apology, you would say, "I apologize that I have disregarded you in this manner by first stepping out of our marriage relationship." You know, then we can now start talking about the beating.
Can
Yeah.
I start about the beating?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay, I totally agree with you. I totally agree with you on that. And there's a very, very strong statement here that I want to read out. So someone has sent me a WhatsApp. So I'm getting messages from every corner, and I'll read it out. It says, please, sorry is very important, regardless of the stage of a relationship. People don't grow too old to offer an appropriate apology. So, Titi, please note that what's an appropriate apology? That's another question I'm bringing from that comment there. So, note that. We'll talk about that now. It's not just the word sorry, but the acknowledgement of wrong done, which indicates a level of empathy for how actions slash words impact on your partner. Empathy for how your words impact on the other person. If you can't apologize or feel it's unnecessary to do so, how do you then feel the need to change? So this person ends their comment with a question. So, like you said, I think this person is concurring with you to say it's the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
So, apology first, that now creates a foundation for change or room for change. Because if it is, what is the word you use again? Appropriate.
Hmm.
If it's appropriate, then it means that there's a tendency to change, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Uh, so, what is an appropriate apology?
Appropriate is relative. We are just like we say, appropriate is relative. Some people don't mind, and it depends. Sometimes, right? Sometimes these things, most of these things happen within context. They don't happen abstract. You know. So it depends on the gravity of the offense and the frequency of the offense. Do you know that sometimes people get offended and graduate to a state of indifference? Like, I don't even care anymore. Go ahead and do whatever it is you want to do.
And that's the dangerous part for any relationship. That is when it becomes a killer. Because if it gets to the
Exactly.
point where your the other person is now indifferent, totally don't care, just do what and he will always do what he wants to do, or she will always do what she wants to do, then for me, I think that relationship is beginning to go down the slope.
Exactly. So if your partner is at that point and you are now coming to say sorry without change, I think the only solution at that point is just to go ahead and change. Personally, I believe both of them should go together. So one may come before the other. You could change, then apologize, or apologize and then change. But I believe that both of them should be together, you know, because there's something that sorry does. After you finish changing, just like I said now, the guy might just give up and say, "Mm, she's always like this, so let me just leave her,"
Hmm,
you know. Then you go ahead and change, and it's like, what's happening here, you know? But that does not take away. Um, there's people that become indifferent. There's that silent hurt
hmm,
that's been persisting. There's that
hmm.
silent resentment. that they may not even want to acknowledge that has been there. So when you eventually change, it might not really mean much to them because they are used to your not changing,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So you change and you think you've done something big. But when you say that sorry, just like one of the comments here, is that step of acknowledging that I acknowledge that I have offended you for the in the last 5 years. I've been
Mm,
doing this in this way. I
mm.
acknowledge today, even if I've changed though, I acknowledge today the hurt of the past and I'm sorry.
That's another aspect that we're going to talk about, but don't
It
fast forward.
helps that person's healing.
I like the statement from Frank, and that's why I've left it here for a while. It said the key is to convey sincerity and regret for your behavior. I think that's a very good way to define an appropriate apology. Like Titi has said, yes, it's relative, but let there be sincerity, let there be regret for the behavior and how that behavior has affected or impacted your partner, or how it has impacted the other person, rather than sit on your right and
And
um
say, let me just do it. Or say, this is what she has been saying I should do since I've even done
and
it
then
now.
now the other parts of, and I think you've mentioned it earlier on, which is quite irritating, I think, for a lot of people. I might be speaking a lot of people's mind, is when you come to that place where you're saying, but I've said sorry now, you know, but I've said sorry now.
Mhm.
So apologies and change should be the right order. I
What's the
agree.
right order, bros?
I
What's the right
agree. I
order?
agree totally. That should be the right order. Apologize if you need to, but most importantly, work on change. Work on change, because I think even God is not okay with us repeating the same offense and then
Mhm.
coming on Sunday to cry and apologize and repent and go back on Monday to the same sin and come back again next Sunday. God, even God in heaven that is all perfect, I don't think he'll be able to take it from us. So we should not expect it from another person. Don't keep repeating the same thing and telling the person sorry. Or the person is telling you how they feel, you are downplaying their emotions and making them feel like, you're gaslighting them. Let's just call it what it is. You are gaslighting them. It's all in your head, like, what's the big deal? What did I even do, self? In fact, I'm the perfect husband. If you go out there, you'll not get anybody that is as good as me. You are lucky to have me gone. Me that even
You're
want
lucky,
to go
you're
sorry.
lucky I didn't even beat you.
You know
You're
that
lucky I didn't
if
land
this
one
is from
slap on your
May,
face.
you would have been in the hospital by now. And you're telling me that you're apologizing. What kind of apology is that? And if you're a woman, if that is your style of apology, then it's wrong. Whether you're a man or a woman, apology must carry with it a serious sincerity and an intent to change. I don't know how else to Kilaso. How do I say it again? I don't know how else to emphasize the
Yeah.
need. Please change. Even if it's something that you cannot automatically change from, let it be obvious that you are making the effort. I always say it here. It's always easy to meet someone halfway.
Mhm.
No matter how stubborn that woman is, no matter how stubborn that man is, some people will tell you, oh, you don't know my partner, you don't know how stubborn they are. If you make an effort, I believe that it will be easy for this person to meet you halfway. But if you just sit there, giving a cold shoulder, because one thing I read from one of the sites when I was reading, they said your inability to apologize conveys to your partner that the relationship is I noted this somewhere, let me see, that you don't care enough. That relationship is not important to you.
Meaningful for you.
So it might not take away the pain, it might not take away the hurt, but this is you saying to this person, you mean a lot to me. It can even be just a girlfriend, friend to friend, children, parents. And some parents say some parents don't know how to say sorry to their children.
Hmm.
Some
That's
parents
where it
don't know how
starts
to say
from.
sorry to their children. So you see what I'm saying about
Yeah.
upbringing. If you
Yeah.
live in a house where my dad, oh my God, Well, let me not continue talking now because he could be watching. Or he has plenty children in the Lord. So I will not say I've used my father to preach. My dad can apologize to Africa. Whether he will do that same thing again, no, it's another matter. But my dad is a strong believer of apology, and so is my husband. My problem with my husband is that sometimes he will do it again. His own, I can tell everybody, I can report him. I can report him. He might do it again, but he can apologize again. And I'm
That sounds like a human being. That sounds like humans.
what are you trying to say? That those who don't know how to apologize are not human, Titi.
Yeah, we're humans, so
Okay. The question originally was, how do you now deal with a spouse who does not apologize? Let's help this brother. Let's help this brother. I know he specifically said, um, uh, Rebecca Joseph, behave yourself this evening, no?
what's that? What's that?
I don't know what he's talking about.
Say that in English,
What are
please.
you talking about? Okay, we'll come
I want
to.
to comment on this, but go ahead.
Okay, go on, comment. Comment. I do
You
want
see,
to comment for me.
that's what I was saying. You say rather than verbalize this, that's why I was saying that both of them should actually go together. Whether one will come first or the other is your own prerogative or the person you are dealing with. But I believe that both of them should come together because
Please, what
sometimes
is what Koyo in the first place?
let the person that said it explain now.
Reverend Oko Joseph, please explain. What do you mean by boss Koyo? I don't understand. Okay, go on.
Because I believe that sometimes you might feel like you are conveying an apology and the other person does not note it, as in they didn't even pick it, and you think they should have picked it, you know. So it's important that even together with your change of action or whatever, you
You
should
verbalize.
verbalize it or have a discussion about it or have that conversation of, I know I've hurt you in the past, I know I've hurt you by doing this, and I apologize and I'm trying to be better.
Okay,
So
two
I
things.
think it's important that both of them go together.
Two things. Two things. Or three.
Even if it is the Boscoyo. Say it's because of this Boscoyo you're enjoying, it's because of so so and so. Do you accept? If you don't accept, let's stop now.
Titi, you have just indicted yourself on national TV because
Say,
you say you do
do
not know
you
the
or
meaning of
do you
boss
not
Koyo. Now you are
accept?
referring to
If you
it.
don't accept, we can cease fire.
You know that men will generally not say no. We will not say
Yeah,
no.
sure,
Very
of course.
few men will say no when you come with that.
Yeah.
But
That's why
sometimes,
I say it's
sometimes
important.
it doesn't mean that it's over.
Yeah,
It's
that's my
going to
point
discover.
exactly.
So even
That's my
after the
point.
post Oyon, the matter is still on ground if it's
It's still
not
on
dealt
ground.
with.
Yeah,
If it's
yeah.
not dealt with, if it's not handled, the matter is still on ground. If it's not
Hmm.
discussed, if the proper process, if the proper process is not followed, sometimes you might find a situation where the hatchet has not been properly buried. That is why you have a situation where in 5 years, 6, 10 years, in fact 6 months down the line, someone is referring
Comes
to
up
something
again.
you think is already over.
Yeah.
Frank, please go and create your ask Rebel for
You
you to
don't
Google.
you will find is
You
from
find it on
experience.
Rebel Oko's Google. It's
This
Rebel
word
Oko
is
Joseph's Google. Ask him.
is from experience. You can't find it in Google.
Google cannot help you with this one.
Google
Alexa
can
can't
help
help
you.
you. But Reverend Oko can. He has his own dictionary. Tell him to extend the dictionary to you. Okay. So, to help this person, if you have spoken to your partner about it, about the fact and the need for apology, because, like we have said here, maybe they don't know, they don't appreciate the power of it. They were not brought up to do it. They were not. They were not taught. You know what it means to apologize. So first have a conversation with your partner and let them understand the need, the importance, of an apology, why it matters so much. And if you've done that and it's not still yielding results, you can go to counseling. I always say there's the power of the third ear in a matter. Psychologists, marriage counselors will be able to help you, talk to both of you, and maybe help this person understand the need for why it's important to apologize. Like we've said, there is a lubricant for your relationship. It will help your relationship to heal. It's the beginning of healing. Sincere apology that is meant well, that is meant well and done properly, is like pouring water on that fire. It douses the tension, it douses the fire. But if on the flip side is, if you are that person who is apologizing without changing, please note you are manipulating that partner. That's not apology. There must be an effort to change. There must be an effort to change. So okay, someone says if a partner has indicated how they understand an apology, please make an effort to speak stroke out your apology in the way they can understand. Not everyone understands sex as an apology. Okay, so now we've told you the meaning of boskoyo.
That's
So
what I'm saying. Some people don't what you're putting out, they're not getting it.
yeah,
So just don't beat about people, just come out and say it who her. I'm sorry. Or say this that I've done is because of this hurt that I've caused you. Simple. Or have a conversation about it. It is so difficult to have this kind of conversations. And I don't know, sometimes it is the most important thing sometimes. Just have this conversation and keep it moving,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know?
Yeah. So someone also said, to now trying to help the person who says the partner does not apologize. He said the person should pray about it and keep explaining to his partner why apologizing is healthy for their relationship, and to exercise patience while she gradually changes. I like
Hmm.
that answer. How patient are men? Okay, let's not go into that debate again now, and then we'll start talking about um so have that individual conversation with your partner. And if you are not married or you're not in a relationship yet, please have the conversation before time. It's one of the things that you should have a conversation about. It's very, very important. Ask this person, what do they think about apology? How do they behave in the time that you're dating? How do they react when something happens? When you express your hurt, or when you say they've hurt you, how do they react? Do they downplay your emotion? Do they make you feel like, what are you talking about? Or do they apologize? It will go a long way to tell you what is going to happen, even in the marriage. And what also noted here is, don't keep pushing the matter. If you know that this person is someone who likes to give apology, maybe by action. So there's action, I am sorry, and there's I am sorry in words. We should both go together, actually, like we've agreed here. But maybe some people don't know how to verbalize it and they are showing the action. Still give them time to learn the other part. Like, the person who commented via WhatsApp was saying that be patient with your partner, whether it's a man or a woman. Be patient with your partner. And we've not answered the question whether it's women or men. Who doesn't say sorry? Tell me, in your own experience, whether you're a man or you're a woman watching, in your experience, is it men who apologize more than women? I would like to know what you think. All right.
Does it really matter?
Matter. Let's research. So women are the ones who don't say sorry. Is that what you're saying? Someone said women. Women don't apologize. Imagine my husband is saying women don't apologize. An indirect way of reporting me. Hey, Reverend say women don't. Okay, who's going to rescue the women? Who knows a woman that
Hmm.
apologizes?
Hmm.
This is going to
Mm.
be a debate that will continue off air. If you think a man apologize more than women, or men apologize more than women, let me know. Okay, we are all a work in progress. But what we've said today is that apology is important.
Yeah.
It is important for your relationship. It's a lubricant. It can help you begin the process of healing from a hurt and from an offense. And depending on the offense, don't just think that you say, I am sorry, and that will be enough. Sometimes it's not enough to just say you're sorry. You have to go ahead to show the sincerity of your sorry by changing, by working on yourself to not
Intentionally.
repeat. Yes, to be intentional. Oh, I love that word. To be intentional about not repeating that same offense again. Before you now begin to label this person a hard man or a hard woman that does not accept apology, ensure that you have not overstretched your apology.
Hmm.
Because if you are the one who is always coming to say apology for the same thing and repeating it and doing it and apologizing and doing it, you make nonsense of the whole process. And nobody knows when you are sincere anymore. This person
Yeah.
not going to take you serious anymore. The next time you come and say, sorry, well, that's what he always says. So they are not going to take you serious anymore. So it's important for your relationship to say, I'm sorry, to apologize, to mean it, and to work to change it. Okay, don't let pride come into your relationship. Don't also allow low self-esteem. This might surprise you, but for some people, their low self-esteem is the reason why they can't apologize. They don't want to go lower than they are. Okay, okay. Let me not now start pulling out some. Let me not now start pulling out some. Our time is up. Thank you everyone for your contributions. I don't know if Titi has anything else she wants to add before we wrap up for today.
I think I'll just say we all need, don't stop growing, don't stop learning, be open, and that would mitigate a whole lot of issues we have in marriage relationships.
I like that. Don't stop growing. Don't stop learning. Learn, relearn, unlearn.
Learn, yeah.
Learn. If there are things that ideologies, and or maybe you are a woman that was told that you beg a man, that reduces you. Unlearn it. It's not true. The first to apologize is the most mature. The one that first to apologize is the bigger person. It doesn't make you less of a person. So sometimes some of us have those wrong ideologies about things, and we need to unlearn them. Then relearn, learn new things about life, about relationship. You can always join us every Sunday. We're always sharing wonderful insights here. Share with your friends, tell them about us so they can all come and learn. We are all learning, every one of us learning together, and we are all work in progress. Okay, thank you, everyone. I've got good news. Next month, the month of November, all through the month of November, besides the last month, which is our Q&A, is nothing but love seats. We are bringing 3 weeks of love seats. Three amazing couple who come tell you their love story, how they met, how they are doing this love life together. You want to learn from people, practical experience. Don't miss any of our edition next month. And if you have not subscribed, I don't know what you're waiting for. Go and subscribe so that you know when we are on air and you don't miss our notification. Thank you everyone for an interesting conversation. I hope we've been able to help Brother Gabriel. It was Brother Gabriel who sent us that question last week. I hope we've been able to help you or help whoever you were asking the question for. It might not even be for you as a person, but hope we've helped someone today to understand the importance of apology in relationship. Thank you, Titi, as always, for your wonderful insights and for your time. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I can't mention everyone's name. Thank you, Frank. I saw a lot of people. Thank you. Let me see again. Those who didn't comment, but I saw you. Reverend Emmanuel Thompson was here. Thank you. Thank you all for coming. Thank you to those who joined via YouTube, those who are on LinkedIn. Thank you, everyone, and see you again next week. Until then, have a love filled week. Bye.